minute. Okay. All right, wait a minute. Okay. I am talking, you are watching. What am I going to talk about? I've got no mud on my face, a face no disgrace, and I know there's YouTube all over the place. Tell me, how do I rock you? Okay. There, that was my best effort. Hi. Okay. Okay. If you are introverted, extroverted, you're either judging or censoring based on personality tests, a thinker or a feeler. But no matter your personality type, we all need some sort of meditation to lower our voices and bring in the calm. That's why a lot of people smoke. Because meditation is a human requirement, like air. Also, second order of business is my series on the exorcism of Annalise Michael, and the third order of business is the trivia contest for everybody who has subscribed and participated. And when I say participate, I mean comment. So if you're interested, if you're interested in any of what I just spoke about, my name's Lasha. Welcome to Lasha's Take, and let's get started. Hi, everybody, and back to our sponsor. I'm just kidding. Hello. You know, journaling can change your life, and the person that I learned that from, well, I've journaled my whole life, but not consistently, like Mr. Matthew McConaughey, and one of the best actors on the planet. From, what do they call them? Rom-coms, to the Dallas Buyers Club, to author, to political activist, to philanthropist. Matthew McConaughey's pretty much done it all. And this, what's your story? He writes on the back, because he's been keeping journals since he was 18 years old. And I want to share with you the book that Eric, a participant on this channel, sent to me all the way from Texas, which is where Matthew McConaughey is. So Eric, thank you. All of us here on Lasha's Take are forever grateful. So let's get into it. Let's get into journaling and why it's so important, how it can help brain cognition as well as muscle memory. I'm just going to move this over a tad so you don't have to look at that. I'm not in my regular YouTube studio right now. So I just need a pen and I'll be right back. And we're talking Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights, and his book, Poems and Prayers. And from my take on it, and Lasha's take is simply my opinion, is it's so helpful. The way he sets up the very first page of the journal, it really makes you question. And I'm dying to read this. Oh, here's a pen right here. I did come prepared. I did come prepared. Okay, so let me read this to you. So he opens the journal, and it looks like an actual card taped to a book, but it's not. It's photocopied, obviously. And by the way, if you can't stay for the entirety of the live, it will be approximately 20 minutes from now. Well, it'll be a 25-minute live. If you can't stay for the whole thing, don't worry about it. You know why? Because the only thing I conduct now are lives and shorts. Lives and shorts. And I, various subjects, but at any rate, Matthew McConaughey. I mean, can we run down the list of movies he's been in? Let's see. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Okay, so How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Okay, then he was also in that one with Jennifer Carpenter, The Wedding Planner. Yeah, he was in The Wedding Planner. Not Jennifer Carpenter, Jennifer Lopez, The Wedding Planner. He was also in, it was called Enemy, or it was called Guilty, and he had a really macabre part in it. He was also in some kind of surfing movie. I forget what it was called. I don't ever remember him being on television. I really don't. Of course, we can't forget Contact with Jodie Foster. And that was in the early days. They were probably in their 20s when they made that. And then, 30 years later, Matthew McConaughey and Jodie Foster are working together on True Detective season 4, which I thought was the absolute best one. I'm just going by memory here. True Detective, Contact, Magic Mike, we can't forget that. Dallas Buyers Club. He was also in The Wolf of Wall Street. Jonestown. And he was in, oh gosh, he's been in so many, I can't Wolf of Wall Street, Jonestown, White Boy Ricky. Anybody see White Boy Rick? White Boy Ricky. Oh, and he was in The Paperboy. That was an amazing movie. Yeah, I mean, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I think he won the Oscar for the Dallas Buyers Club. But there was one more huge movie he was in, but I can't remember it. Yeah, so Matthew McConaughey, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Wedding Planner, Guilty. There was a surfing movie he was in, Contact with Jodie Foster. And then, like I said, 20 to 25, 30 years later, they're working on True Detective together, Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey. Magic Mike with Channing Tatum. The Dallas Buyers Club with Jennifer Garner. Jonestown. White Boy Ricky. The Paperboy. I mean, it's just, it's endless, the amount of work he's done. And one of the things, hey Trav, one of the things that I didn't know about Matthew McConaughey is that he was such an amazing poet and really into journaling. So I just again wanted to thank Eric for sending this, a subscriber. And for those of you that know this channel well, Melody Moon, who has a channel at Mickey Moon 51, or Trevor, could you write down Melody's thing? Her is it at Mickey Moon? Melody from Calgary and Trevor from Detroit, who's the manager and moderator of the channel, and myself, the host. We are all going live on New Year's Eve, but the trivia contest is January the 2nd. Now, before I get into the journaling, because it's going to be very specific, I need to explain the second order of business, actually the third order of business, was the Amazon giveaway. Now, this is not for anybody to donate. This is something that Trevor and I and Melody Moon are working together to give out a $50 Amazon card on January the 2nd. Now, how do you get your hat in, or how do you get your name in the hat? Because thus far, anybody who's participating, I've already written their names on this paper, and then I cut it out, put it in an empty hat, and then we pick one name, and if the person isn't there to claim the prize, we go to somebody else. So again, the trivia contest for the $50 Amazon giveaway is January the 2nd of 2026. So I wanted to give you some sample questions, okay? So Trevor, here are some sample questions for our raffle. I just made them up already, okay? So, to participate, to earn that $50 Amazon card that we're giving out to all of you, because we're so grateful that all of you take the time to participate and comment. And quite honestly, I'm giving a prize away to the top commenter of the year, because I am so sick of watching YouTube channels ask and ask and ask and ask and ask. And I actually do think it's kind of gross that Candace Owens accepts $100 gifts when her husband's a lord from England who's worth millions and she's worth millions. That's pretty greedy. Like, I know she has 4 kids and everything, but somebody once said that Candace Owens has a stupid audience. I don't know. I have a lot of Candace Owens opinion pieces if you'd like to catch up on those. So, to play in the raffle, all you have to do is go to the community page and put your name down under January 2nd raffle. That's it. Right underneath. Just put your name or whatever you want to call yourself. And all you have to do is go to the playlist, okay? And every channel has a playlist. And the playlist that you want to look for is 12 down. So what I mean by that is, you know how people have, like Candace Owen has the Camilla Chronicles, the Epstein Files, the, I don't know, this and that and the other. Okay, so if you go to my playlist and you think of on the 12th day of Christmas, go down to 12, and it's the playlist that says Christmas Countdown, December 1st to January 1st of 2026. And these are the questions that I'm going to be asking. So there's 2 things you can do to get your name in that hat for the $50. And really strangely, there aren't a lot of people who signed up. So sign up, because I'm going to advertise every day. Share it with a friend. Seriously, subscribe, like, and frickin' share. We're a good channel. It's just hard to keep people's attention. But the thing is, I only conduct lives and shorts. Lives and shorts. The videos, some of them are actually okay, but I didn't know how to use hashtags. I didn't know how to do any of that. And everything I've done on video is live anyway. So I thought, why waste my time making a video and uploading it? So that's why I'm doing lives. So the questions from the playlist, Christmas Countdown, by the way, are all on the last video that I put up. But before we get into journaling and how it's good for your cognitive abilities and your muscle memory, what's going on here in the comments, Trevor? Let's see. No offense, but you look like the Marjorie Taylor Greene. Trevor, you've already asked me 3 times today how I'm getting the MacBook, and you know what? Only 6 hours have passed by. Don't worry about it. Charlie's taking me tomorrow. Hello, Jay. How far will you pass? Lash, you look like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I haven't got a pen because I'm Fish Boy. Okay, all right. These are the questions to the trivia contest for January 2nd of 2026 at 9 p.m. Pacific Eastern Time. So you go to the playlist, the Christmas Countdown. So here's the first question. You have 2 options. Pick one video, and on the live on January 2nd, tell Trevor and I what you liked about it and what you didn't like about it, because we want feedback so we can grow. Trevor said I look like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, so on the very, very first video under Christmas Countdown, there's a video that I made the other day about Ben Shapiro. Hi, my name's Ben Shapiro, and I can't believe that Candace Owens, I can't believe that Megyn Kelly didn't denounce Candace Owens, because she is just like a little, just lying and lying and lying, and I just can't believe she didn't denounce her and Tucker Carlson. And they did that on the Turning Point USA stage, and I thought, why the hell did Erica Kirk let Ben Shapiro on the stage? And then he said Megyn Kelly gave Candace Owens a pass when she wrote #Christ is King because she was pregnant. And then you know what he said? Somebody else is a mother and Meghan Markle is a mother. I thought Meghan Markle's not a mother. So my question is going to be, who did Ben Shapiro say was a mother and isn't? Well, the answer is Meghan Markle. Another question. I did this 3 days ago. Okay? Why did I take still shots of Candace Owens's live chat? Why did I do that? So you have to go to the video to find out. In the third video, what did I mean by wood flowers? In the 6th video, I talk about H.G. Tudor, and it's called Talking Tuesday. So I'm going to say, which video was done on Talking Tuesdays with H.G. Tudor? And it's the 6th video down. On video 7, it says that I'm talking about Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk. However, I go right into showing footage of the exorcism of Emily Rose. And what did Trevor and I gasp at when we first saw it? What was Trevor wearing in video number 8 under Christmas Countdown that my mother told him to take off. The 9th video down, which was done on December 9th, I can't remember what it's about, so somebody needs to tell me. And what did I say about P. Diddy that wasn't popular? And what did I say in video 11 about Donald Trump? Or you can go to any one of our lives, watch any full live, one video, and tell us what was nay or yay about it. And then you get your name in the hat for the $50 Amazon giveaway. Trevor, I think you should start announcing this on your channel as well, the same way you did with whatchamacallit, Karaoke Fridays, Freaky Fridays. All right, so Matthew McConaughey sets us up to really learn how to journal. And he says right here, what's a truth you know, a truth you've seen, and a truth you tell? That's a very thought-provoking question. It's right here. Can anybody read backwards? So, what is a truth you know, a truth you've seen, and a truth you tell? A truth I know, corruption at the Royal Victoria Hospital in Barrie, Ontario. A truth you've seen. I've seen the truth of my knee, and a truth I tell. I'm always talking about why I started the channel. All right, so that was an easy one. But let me just read what he writes at the very beginning. But I need my... Let's start from the very beginning. A very good place to start. When you read, you begin with A, B, C. When you sing, you begin with Do, Re, Mi, Do, Re, Mi. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. All right, so this is what Matthew McConaughey says. Okay, I'm going to try to read it. I need a light, though, because I don't have my glasses. Okay, ready? Trevor says that I look like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay. I've been keeping journals for 37 years. And the process... Oh, that looks like the Blair Witch Project. Sorry. Okay. I've been keeping journals for 37 years. And the process has brought me to elation, evolution, revelation, and revolution. It has also occasionally brought me to tears, some sad, most happy. So he writes this at the beginning of the journal, and this is also part of his book, Poems and Prayers. In writing my book, Green Lights, I reread what I had written in my journals, and it not only helped me understand who I am now, but who I want to be tomorrow. By revisiting who I'd been, I found habits and perspectives that consistently led to my successes and failures, my pains and my pleasures. I am able to boil down my experiences to their essence, learn or unlearn from them, forgive some, and double down on others. I saw how the tough and stressful times in my life, the red and yellow lights as I call them, all had lessons that I needed to learn. It's interesting, they were all lessons, but he needed to learn them. This is the value of journaling. We get to know ourselves. When we put pen to paper and share our feelings, thoughts, and opinions with the page, we begin to understand ourselves more deeply and clearly. And that begins to customize our lives around who we truly are. We begin to separate the signal from the noise. That's interesting, the signal from the noise. With this journal, sorry, my eyes. With this journal, my eyes, sorry. With this journal, you can boldly face and own up to who you've been, who you are, and who you want to become. You can learn how to shake hands with yourself and enjoy your own company, or change a habit or two. The journal is a place for your stories, the people, places, poems, prayers, and burdens of your life. Be honest here, fun, ask questions, answer them. Don't be afraid to see your contradictions as part of the twisted truth of paradox. Stick in some photos or quotes that turn you on. Scribble, doodle, draw, edit, but don't erase. Find your frequency. Investigate. Get wise to yourself. Get to know the one person you've stuck with for the rest of your life. You. This is your journal. This is your story. Write it. Just keep living. Now, doesn't he have a fascinating signature? So, I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? If anybody's there, by the way, again, if this is a live and you've popped by and you can't stay and you think you've reached something boring, don't worry. Come back and watch it after, because their lives aren't boring. You just have to come back and watch them, because I don't do videos. I do lives and shorts. That's it. So I just read the passage to Matthew McConaughey's book. And one of the first things that I wrote down, and one of his first questions was, we all ask ourselves questions. Let's make sure we answer them. We all do ask ourselves questions. Like, if you want to participate, I've already explained the raffle rules, which actually, Trevor, you're not going to believe it, but I actually wrote a prologue into my introduction today, and I'm covering what I actually covered and said I was going to. So I already covered the rules for the raffle. It's at the beginning of this live. So you can swipe back to the beginning and get to the Amazon rules. We're talking the Amazon $50 gift certificate and this journaling, because it not only increases your cognitive ability, but it increases your muscle memory. When I'm talking about muscle memory, what am I talking about? Okay, well, let's break this down. Questions. All right, I had some questions. I couldn't even figure out what my questions were. So then I wrote down questions with purpose, right? And then I wrote, what makes a person ask questions? What do you think makes a person ask questions? Trevor, what makes you ask questions? Or whoever else is there. Well, my family is in Scotland. Hi. You're in Scotland. London is where you want to go in life? Congratulations. Well, I don't know. What makes a person ask good questions? Like thought-provoking questions. It's usually things, in my opinion, that other people don't think about. So I don't know what questions I want to ask myself in this very moment. And then he says, answer your questions. And then I'm like, what are my questions? And then I was thinking about traditional learning. And then questions with a purpose. And I wrote, I'm always trying my best. However, consistency is an issue. How well did I do advertising the raffle? And what are the results? What is it about me that angers so-and-so? I had a question about that. What do the participants want? What should I do? What does everybody want? What am I doing wrong? What can I do better? How can I encourage people to comment more? So those were some of my questions. Like, what prevents people from commenting on this live right now, for example? So then the next part, his handwriting is really neat as well. The next page, I'm going to work on this tonight. It's called Tell a Love Story About Your Family. Not just a love story, but about your family. But that can mean many different things to many different people. So tonight, I'm going to work on Tell a love story about your family. I'm going to work on that tonight. And tomorrow is Tuesday, December the 23rd of 2025. Okay, so I will see you all tomorrow, probably a little earlier than 11:39 at night, and we'll talk a little more about journaling. However, how putting pen to paper can make you successful is you can keep track of what you did, and it's also a diary. So if you ever get into trouble, you always know what you were doing or why you were doing it. They have apps to do all of this for you instead of old-fashioned journaling like Matthew McConaughey does in his book Green Lights. And tonight, ask yourself the question, tell a story, a love story about your family. And we'll meet back here tomorrow. Trevor, what time? Around 7 or 8? And we'll share stories about our loved ones. If you want information on the raffle, that's at the beginning. But his quotes from his diary work perfectly in this book. And in order to understand his poems and prayers, you need to practice it yourself. And you know how it changes your brain chemistry, writing things down, is if you actually start writing everything down in reference to 7:30 shower, 8 o'clock coffee, 9 o'clock to 9:30 gym, 9:30 till 10 work. If you write down what you do and then write down like highlights of the day, stories, times, dates, because you don't want to lose memories. And then when you look back on years later, it's unbelievable. I kept poems for years and years and years. I remember in I wrote so many poems. I would doodle in high school. I never paid attention. But yeah. There was one last thing I wanted to talk about. I actually wrote it down. I talked about the Amazon ticket series on A. Second order of business series on A. Oh, the series of Annalise Michael, The Exorcism of Annalise Michael. That I'm reading this book because it really, really brought me back to faith again, and it is Christmas time. So think of a love story about your family. Enjoy your evening. It's 11:42, quarter to 12, on Monday, December the 22nd of 2025, and tomorrow being Tuesday the 23rd of 2025. We're one day to Christmas Eve, and I'll never forget last Christmas Eve. And you know why I have so many videos? Because what I wrote in my journal about the original and origin of this channel was simply because I started a petition on change.org in reference to doctors not keeping their oath. I was in a wheelchair for a year. It's a really, really long story. It's all over the channel. And I thought lickety split, the channel would explode and people would care about the corruption in Canada, but people don't. It's absolutely craziness. So we've had to morph it into something else. All right, so go to the community page, put your name in the community page for the raffle, under the $50 Amazon card, under the Christmas tree. And Trevor and I will be conducting some more questions. We'll be back tomorrow to follow up on our family's love story. And I'll give you some more questions that will be asked on January the 2nd. Okay, have a good night, everybody. Well, December the 26th is the anniversary, our 2-year anniversary, and we're doing karaoke that night. But the actual trivia and raffle is January the 2nd at 9 p.m. Pacific Eastern Time. Okay, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It's Christmas time, you know? We've got some really good content coming up because Trevor has a computer and it's completely going to change this podcast into a really slick podcast. And Trevor and I started this channel, but Trevor and I have built it together. And we've met so many good people on this channel. Good night, Trevor. Good night, everybody. And thank you for dropping by. Thank you for dropping by.